Sorry, folks, we had a little bit of a technical issue there. Had to get a new stream up there, but hopefully you're all coming back from the first stream over on the PHP network. And as you're filtering back in, it is still a 2-1 lead for the Port Huron Prowlers. Again, we saw a goal waved off, and then we saw Dominic Loubert open the scoring shortly thereafter. But then the Prowlers were able to hold off the Thunderbirds at least till nearly the end of that second period, but Joe Kennedy got the Thunderbirds back on the board for real this time and made it a 2-1 game, and that's where we stand as of now. So we will take a short break, and when we come back, we'll check in on all the other games around the FPHL and much more. We'll do it next right here on the PHP Network.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
Seriously, not even that much better than you.
Should've just got a ticket from phprowlers.com.
I should have just bought tickets at phprowlers.com.
I got it!
I should have just got a ticket at phprowlers.com.
I should have got a ticket at phprowlers.com.
They should have just got tickets
at phprowlers.com. Back here in Port Huron, wrapping up the second intermission. Apologies for the technical difficulties. Hopefully everybody finding their way back to the new live stream, as more penalties have actually just come down on my penalty sheet. We'll give you, as Makar Sokolov and Mario Cavalieri both got 2 minutes for leaving the crease. So add them up there, but it will still be 4-on-4 when period number 3 begins in just a few moments. Here at McMorran Place, of course, this isn't the only game going on around the FPHL, as the first round of the Commissioner's Cup playoffs is underway, with all 3 other series in action tonight. We take a look at our out-of-town scoreboard. The Watertown Wolves are fighting and they're scrapping with the Binghamton Black Bears in Game 1 in Watertown. That one in the second period. It's 2-2. Watertown actually had a 2-0 lead after one, but Binghamton scored twice within the first 3 minutes of period number 2 to tie things up, and that's where we stand there. Meanwhile, in Danbury, the Hat Tricks have a 2-1 lead. Daniel McKittrick and Johnny Ruiz have the goals for Danbury. Lane King, the one for Motor City in game 1 of that series. And we could see an elimination tonight. And it is very possible. Second period in Columbus, the Dragons have a 2-0 lead on Mississippi. They're out shooting the Seawolves 22-8 in the game so far. Austin Doe and Justin McDonald have the goals for the Columbus River Dragons, as we are just minutes away from puck drop in the third period here in Port Huron. Look at the stats from this game so far. And the penalty minutes relatively low, although they do need to be updated now that we have the new information with Cavalieri and Sokolov also picking up 2 minutes after that fray at the end of period 2. They both left their creases, so they get 2 minutes as well. It'll be 4-on-4 with Connor Foley and Roman Kramer sitting in the box for cross-checking each. And you see these shot totals. Carolina had lots of pressure in that second period, and that's really the only concern for the Prowlers at this point, is they spent a lot of time in their own end during that second period of play. So they are hoping that they can spend a little bit more time in the offensive end with an opportunity to take game 1 here at home and then move down to Carolina and have 2 chances to win the series instead of going down there with their backs against the wall like they have these past few seasons. And again, we're welcoming everybody back to the stream. Again, apologies for the technical issues we're having here, and I'm a man, I'll admit it. It was human error. I accidentally pressed the wrong button, so I can admit my mistakes. I'm a grown man, but apparently not grown enough to not accidentally hit the end stream button. But we live and learn, and Prowlers hoping that they've gotten through the living as far as this series goes with the Carolina Thunderbirds the last 2 years, and they're hoping they've learned and that they can impose their will here in period number 3, which will drop the puck in just about 90 seconds from now. We take a look at our PHP Network trivia question. Want to know who the Prowlers' all-time franchise leader in playoff points is? And your answer is Matt Robertson, who has 14 points in his playoff career. And I made this question before the game started, but the answer has now changed. Dalton J has an assist in this game. He assisted on Dominic Loubert's goal, so he's now tied Matt Robertson for the all-time lead in Prowlers history in playoff points. So if you guessed Dalton J, I'm going to give you half credit for that, as he didn't come into the game with the lead, but he is now tied again with Matt Robertson for the lead in playoff points. Prowlers hitting the ice. Makar Sokolov in the goal crease to our right, as he has stopped 19 of 20 Thunderbirds shots so far in this game. Mario Cavalieri in the goal crease to our left. And he He has stopped 12 of 14 Prowler shots so far in this game. The final 20 minutes of regulation in game number 1 set to get underway. Prowlers trying to pull out the victory and head down to Carolina with a series lead. We'll have 4-on-4 hockey, 2 players in each penalty box, with the goalies also picking up penalties. Actually, we'll play 5-on-5. My mistake. They put up the penalties on the board during the intermission, but they have since taken them down. So we'll play 5-on-5, and Connor Foley and Roman Kramer will have to wait for a whistle to step out of the boxes. We're underway in period number 3 of game 1 of the Commissioner's Cup playoffs. Joe Kennedy, a little head fake away from Federley. Ford across towards Keplinger out of his reach. He touches it in as a man in front of the net, but couldn't get it there. Johnson, back pass around, Butita cycles it to Keplinger. Johnson puts Keplinger down to the ice, still got towards the front of the net, and ends up on the near side, was lofted out by Federley. Clay Keeley mishandled the puck. He and Rencourt go in together. Ford up the wall and sent out of the zone. Frank Schumacher fresh off the bench. On to Dalton Jay. Comes back to Schumacher again. Both teams making changes. Loubert starts the rush himself. He walks in. His shot stopped by Cavalieri, and the rebound popped over top of the cage. Came back over to the far side. Dan Chartrand able to stop that clearing attempt, and his shot goes wide. Now Schumacher back towards the net, kicked out by Cavalieri. Foley tried to reverse it out in front and couldn't do it. DeCumbus with some spacey shoot, score! And hits Chartrand right in front. And early on in period 3, the Prowlers restore the 2-goal lead. DeCumbus put the shot on net. It hit Chartrand somewhere up high, maybe in the shoulder, and deflected past Cavalieri. And Chartrand has his first career playoff point, as does Vinny DeCumbus. And a big next goal for the Prowlers. Vinny DeCumbus playing in his FPHL Commissioner's Cup playoffs debut after he ended last season on IR, and obviously because of that could not participate in the playoffs with the Prowlers. And right off the jump, that line creates a goal. Popped up in the air. Lockhart took Schnapp in. Parsons with the puck. Up to Scantleberry. Now Liam Freeborn. 1-on-2. Couldn't reach back out for the puck. DeCumbus and Schumacher picking up the assist on the goal by Dan Chartrand. Played into Prowler territory. Schumacher off the boards. Rencourt able to get it out. Here comes Rencourt. Now Jay up to the top to McCardo. Wristers kicked out by Cavalieri. Thunderbirds looking to start a rush. They're slowed up, and Firth sends it cross corner. Forward to first on it. Now it's moved along. Rencourt bounces out to center. Whaling gave it away to Dalton Jay. Tried to make a move, but lost the handle. Tucker Firth on the left wing side, up towards Salak. That's going to be an icing against the Carolina Thunderbirds. And everybody set to leave their respective penalty boxes. Prowlers with a 3-1 lead, a huge early goal in this third frame for Daniel Chartrand, the Manitoba native. Us Ford wins this one back. Scantleberry able to take it away from Keplinger. Brett Lockhart fired it right off a Thunderbird. Still lands on Freeborn's tape. Up comes Scantleberry. Has Connor Foley with him. Scantleberry around the cage. Trying to rep. Saved by Cavalieri. Couple more stops. Puck still loose, and now they blow it dead. As Connor Foley was dumped on the back of the cage by Firth. They're having a chat. Scantleberry as well. Firth trying to get after Tucker Scantleberry. It's been all Prowlers to start this third period. Shot 6-0 Port Huron, and they have a goal. And that pulls the shots to an even 20 for each team for the game. And Daniel Chartrand out there with his line again. For this offensive zone face-off against the Panachek line. Evan Foley wins it clean, and a save by Cavalieri on the wrister from Chase McCardle. Schumacher backs into his own end, gives over to McCardle. Off to a long glove, down by DeCumbus. Down looking for Foley. That was taken away by Farmer. Schumacher fired it across the ice. Loose puck picked up by Bioni. Pass on for Pastuca. Gets it to Kramer, but the Thunderbirds offside at the Prowler line. Port Huron coming out with all kinds of jump in this third period after Joe Kennedy cut the deficit in half for Carolina with 59 seconds left in period 2. You expected some energy from the Thunderbirds off of that. The Prowlers turned that right back the other way. And as Sokolov covers this one up, they've been the ones with the energy. And a great response from Port Huron. A little bit of a mixed line here for Carolina. Ford, Keplinger, and Salak. And Steve Harrison trying to mix up his lines, trying to manufacture some offense. Ford lined up at the top of the circle looking for a quick shot. He gets it, he shoots, and he can't find the target. Lockhart gets it out. Kennedy gives it over to Clay Keeley. His outside try kicked out by Sokolov. Parsons next on the puck, up to Scantleberry. Has Freeborn with him. Carolina coming back. Freeborn lost the handle, and Salak recollects in the corner. Connor Foley kept that puck deep for a moment. Prowler still in on the forecheck. Finally, Ford takes it. He gives it away to Scantleberry. Turnaround try gloved by Cavalieri, with Liam Freeborn coming right in front. So another offensive zone face-off for the Prowlers in the early stages of period number 3. Rancourt and Nate Keeley on this draw. It's 1 to the boards. Farmer and Federley were battling. Nate Keeley ended up with the puck. Now Schnapp regains control. Tried to feed it over to Nate Keeley. Dalton Jay comes back to tie him up. Butita on the wall, up high to Firth. Rister through traffic, blocked away. Schnapp couldn't get to a shooting position. Farmer walks the line, watched by Federley. His shot knocked down on the way through and ends up in the near side corner. Loubert off the glass and out, blocked up by Farmer. Federley up towards Rancourt. And now Nate Keeley settles things down. He leaves it for Firth. Prowlers in the midst of some changes, as are the Thunderbirds. As Tucker Firth waits for everyone to step onto the ice, and now he'll step out to his left. Lead pass was deflected in. Evan Foley gets it out. Kennedy over to Kramer. Tried to center it for Pastuca. That didn't work. And Joe Kennedy retreats. Kennedy steps up into offensive territory, chips it past Alex Johnson and heads after it. Johnson lifted his stick. Chartrand comes in for the puck, ducks a hit from Pastuca. Now Kramer stood up by McCardle. Johnson up the wall. Chartrand first there. He'll softly tap it out. Pastuca's pass hit his own man, Kennedy. Now the Thunderbirds reorganize, but a giveaway by Kramer. And Scantleberry gives it back to Freeborn. Dropped for Connor Foley. Comes to the line. Rister through traffic, deflected, save, rebound, and Cavalieri stretched out the right pad to Rob Scantleberry. Bioni has Ford, but he couldn't get him with that pass. No icing as they dig away in the corner. Let's go Prowlers chants coming down from the crowd. Freeborn gives it over to Connor Foley. Outside try right into the catching glove of Mario Cavalieri. We'll step aside. An early goal for the Prowlers. It's Chartrand, and it's 3-1. You're watching the Commissioner's Cup playoffs on the PHP Network.
I'm proud to serve farmers because everything they do matters.
If I could choose one word to describe a farmer, I would say essential.
Dedicated.
Enterprising.
The most creative people.
They're providing food for the rest of the world.
Some of the qualities I look for when hiring is personality, perseverance, someone that's determined. We want to be able to hire someone that understands what we're supporting, and ultimately that's the grower.
Come fill McMorran Place at every Prowlers home game this season. General admission tickets are just $15 with discounts available for seniors, military, students, and children under 12. Upgrade your experience in one of our suites, or bring the whole squad to the game with discounts for groups of 10 or more. Find your best option to visit the Thumb Coast professional hockey team by visiting phprowlers.com and find the tickets tab, or call the box office at 810-985-6166. Secure your seats today. 7 minutes gone in period number 3. Daniel Chartrand has the only goal of the final frame of regulation. It's a big one. It gives the Prowlers a 3-1 lead. This offensive zone faceoff is won by the Thunderbirds as they start to stretch guys looking for offense. You saw immediately off that faceoff, Keplinger went right out to the neutral zone along with Gus Ford. Firth on to Clay Keeley, back across looking for Gus Ford. That was knocked away by Evan Foley. Salak harassed by Johnson. Hand off behind the net to Keplinger. Out high, Clay Keeley. Across, Firth. Rister blocked by Chartrand. Now Johnson able to wrestle his stick free. He has numbers moving up ice. Johnson from the outside floated all the way through. That rush didn't materialize quick enough for the Prowlers to make it an odd man situation. Firth up to Keplinger. Tried to dance through. Couldn't do it. And now Nate Keeley sends it down the boards. Lockhart all the way around. Farmer had some trouble with it. Prowlers bounce it out. Nate Keeley first on it. He turns it back up ice. And then Keeley runs into Lockhart. That's a heavy collision between those two guys. Jay over to Lockhart. Now Parsons back to Lockhart. Puck was rolling on him. Schnapp came in to defend. Finally they get up to Rancourt. Chips it around Farmer. From the outside, Farmer came back to defend Jeremy Rancourt and push him to the ice. Sent around to the near side wall. Jay gets it back deep. Now Nate Keeley battling with Rancourt. It pops out to Batita. Kennedy had that puck poked away from him. And Scantleberry gives to Parsons. Lead feed on to Freeborn. Connor Foley Gets in his shot, stopped by Cavalieri. Rebound pushed to the corner. To the top, it's Luber. Pulls up, tried to feed back to Freeborn, that didn't work. Luber again at the top. Pass cut off by Kennedy, stolen by Freeborn. Skittleberry! And it rose too tall. I think it may have hit a stick on the way through. Just over 10 and a half to play here in period 3. Shots in this third period, 13-1 in favor of the Prowlers. They have taken control of this game in its most important time here in period 3. Face-off won by the Prowlers. Parsons' wrister right into the chest of Mario Cavalieri, and he'll hang on for another whistle, another face-off. So we'll do it again. Panacek and Evan Foley. Face-off comes to the wall. Chartrand scoops it up. And he finds it again, battling through a hit from Clay Keeley. Bioni and DeCumbus in there as well. DeCumbus couldn't pull it out of the pile. And out comes Pastuca. This pass out of the reach of Panacek. Puck still pinballing around. Nobody wants it. Finally, Panacek takes it. And he gives back to Clay Keeley. Bioni with a cross-corner dump. And end up in Sokolov's catching glove. And he'll freeze play and take us to another timeout in the back half of period 3. Prowlers still with a 2-goal lead. You're watching the Commissioner's Cup playoffs on the PHP Network. .9:56 to go in regulation. Prowlers with a 3-1 lead on the Carolina Thunderbirds. Daniel Chartrand, a huge third period goal, extended the lead back to 2 for Port Huron. That's where we stand. Prowlers have dominated this frame so far. They try to continue that, but they'll have to get out of their own zone as Ford hasn't been given much space tonight, given none there by Evan Foley, who sends him down to the ice. Johnson, headman feed, looking forward to Cumbus out of his reach, and that will be an icing. As DeCumbus was heading up ice, looking for a one-on-one, Johnson just a touch too far ahead of Vinny DeCumbus. He couldn't get a touch on it. So, it comes all the way back down once more. And Evan Foley's stick is broken, so he'll have to go back to the bench for a new one. Give the Prowlers an extra couple of seconds. He'll take the face-off against Ford. Tied up. Johnson pulls it out. Now McCardle turning away from Ford. That's out, but he couldn't dump it out of the zone. Comes right back into Johnson. Off the wall, Chartrand touches it along. Rolls all the way down. Kennedy first on it. No icing. Keplinger across to Kennedy. Up to Gus Ford. Couldn't dangle around Liam Freeborn. Good play. Oh, he's backed up by Kennedy. Kennedy dances his way in. It's taken away by Frank Schumacher. Lubert around the wall to Freeborn. He moves it along. Salak to Bioni. Quick up. And it's tipped in. Lubert first on it. Carolina in the midst of a change, so he fires a pass up to Freeborn. Saucer to Connor Foley. In with speed. Tried to sidestep a hit, but couldn't take the puck with him. Bioni lofts it out. Glove down by Lubert. Prowlers can't be the next to touch it. And Butita did, so we play on. Bioni. Another glove down by Lubert. This time he plays it with his own stick, which is legal. And also in his own end, which you can do a hand pass in your own defensive zone. Meanwhile, here's Schumacher as I sit here and try to explain hockey. Now the Prowlers, 2-on-1 developing. Connor Foley with Freeborn. Connor Foley shoots up the outside of the post. Foley on it again. Out high. Lockhart towards the net. Just skitters wide. Freeborn down and around. Scantleberry couldn't drag it to the front. He's wrestling with Bioni. Meanwhile, it's Butita curling to Schnapp. Pull up play, and they couldn't get a shot on net. Parsons dumps it out. And it looks like Brian Parsons might be going to the penalty box. Maybe, maybe not. They're discussing it. And yes, it looks like Brian Parsons to the penalty box for delay of game. And Carolina with a huge opportunity, second power play of the game for the Thunderbirds. Fans booing, but that one's not exactly a judgment call like many penalties are. Well, Parsons will have to sit for a nervous 2 minutes. Prowlers PK 1-for-1 so far. They dig away in the circle. It's underneath Austin Federley, who took the face-off. Able to kick it back to DeCumbus, who escapes and gets it off the glass and all the way down. That takes off 15 seconds already. The top unit on for Carolina, looking for a goal. Pastuca, Keplinger, Salak Ford, and Dawson Baker, who we haven't seen much of in this game. Same with Adam Heinzel, who's in the middle of that battle right now. And Prowlers get the puck out. Pastuca gloves it down at center. Baker back across to Pastuca. Again, haven't seen Dawson Baker in a while. He gave it away. Here's Dan Chartrand. He missed the net. Pastuca to Keplinger. Minute 5 left on the Thunderbirds power plays. It's rimmed around. Salak gets it back. Walks down the wall. Rister couldn't find the target. And up to 4 on the near half wall. Ford gets it back from Clay Keeley. Walks in, he shoots, and he scores. Gus Ford with a power play goal. This one will count for him, and it brings the Birds within 1. And you give Gus Ford enough time and space, he will burn you. 42 goals in the regular season, second in the FPHL, and he has his 10th career playoff goal in game number 15 in the playoffs for him. Second shot of the period for the Carolina Thunderbirds. And they break through to make this one a lot more interesting. It's a 1-goal game. They're late in regulation. Kramer rims it around. Lubert gave it up towards Federley, and it's touched out of the zone by Rencourt. Kennedy to Farmer. He heads up ice. Farmer taken in hard by Lubert, who stepped right up into him. Centering feed, rescued by Federley. He goes up the boards, and it's handled by Dalton Jay. 2-on-2 rush as they hit the line. Jay in and out of the glove of Cavalieri. Behind the play, Farmer and Federley were tied up. That's what the crowd was reacting to. Lubert, cross corner dump. Firth handles it with the glove and moves it up the wall. Right into the Cumbus to the net. And Cavalieri able to clamp the glove on top, or the blocker at least, for a whistle and a face-off. Clay Keeley and Dawson Baker picking up the assist on the goal for Gus Ford. Ford now the only player in this game with 2 points. He has a goal and an assist. Off this draw, Firth rims it up the boards. Keplinger on to Salak. Johnson knocks it away from him. They go into the corner together. Salak and Johnson still wrestling. Puck underneath. Moved up the wall. Chartrand threw a hit on Keplinger. As we hit 5 minutes to go in regulation. There's still battle away. Firth, wrister steered to the corner by Sokolov. Keplinger behind the net. Thunderbirds getting some life here as first shot deflects wide. Bioni back deep. Evan Foley turns away from Salak. Off the boards to Cumbus. Lead feed on for Chartrand. Has McCarl going to net. Got it to him. And he got a touch on it. But sticked away by Cavalieri. This puck rolling all the way down. Lockhart will play it with his team in the midst of a change. 2 Thunderbirds came to him. Was able to rim it up the wall. Scantleberry got it out and down. No icing as it went off a Thunderbird stick. Firth. His pass misses everyone. This one will be icing, and it will go against Carolina. 4:07 left in regulation. Prowlers trying to hold on. You're watching the Commissioner's Cup playoffs on the PHP Network.
At Hungry Howie's, we're famous for flavor, and this is our Chief Flavor Officer. Every hour of every day, our CFO obsesses over the tastiest ingredients, combining them to create new flavor combinations your taste buds never knew they needed. Until now. Introducing his latest master pizza, the Pepperoni Duo. A delicious combination of classic cut pepperoni, original pepperoni, 100% mozzarella cheese, and our famous flavored crust. 2 kinds of pepperoni, all kinds of delicious.
Hungry?
Howie's. We invite you to tune in to our next broadcast tomorrow for Game 2 between the Prowlers and the Thunderbirds on Saturday, April 20th. Puck drop is scheduled from Winston-Salem at 7:30 p.m. Pre-game show starts at 7:15. It's all right here on the PHP Network. Prowlers trying to get to that game with the series lead for the first time against Carolina. Here's Connor Foley, who has a goal tonight. Sends it around the net. Cavalieri keeps it moving. Scantleberry first on it. Cycles it all the way around to the far side. Lubert jumps in to take it. Tucker Firth. Pass up to Kramer. Enters offensive territory. Puts a little spin move on. Prowlers come back in numbers and knock him off the puck. Kennedy. Led on to Kramer. Lofted in, gloved by Sokolov, and he'll hang on for a whistle and a face-off with 3:22 left in regulation. Shots in this period 16-3 in favor of the Prowlers. The goals 1-1. And that's why it's still a 1-goal Prowler lead as it was heading into the final frame of regulation. Chase McCardle on towards Federley, knocked away by Kennedy. Poked along, it's Salak. Around behind the net, Ford. That out high, wrister deflected down, Sokolov juggles and dives out on top. So another face-off deep in Sokolov's end. Mario Cavalieri is at the hash marks down in Carolina territory. We will keep you posted on his whereabouts as this game gets later. Face-off won by Keplinger. It's given to Kennedy. Rister blocked down by a stick and swept aside by Sokolov. Salak to Keplinger. Gets it up high. It got past Kennedy. Decumbus chasing him down. Now Chartrand pokes it away from Farmer. They get back up to Salak. Rubbed off by McCardle. And Chartrand sauces it out to center. Kennedy backs up. Now he works his way forward. He gave it right to McCardle. Up towards Chartrand. Got past him and Farmer. Prowlers making a change as Kennedy tries to step past Connor Foley. This puck dumped around. Parsons played it to the corner. Salak trying to pull it out. Connor Foley in there as well. Salak had it poked off his stick. Firth down deep. Centering feed. Nobody home. On the receiving end for Josh Keplinger, who checks his mouth as he heads back to the Thunderbirds bench. Under 2 to play. Lockhart wrists it right in on Cavalieri. He hangs on for a whistle and a face-off with 1:53 to go. Firth and Scantleberry trade soft pokes. Face-off coming deep in Thunderbirds territory. Actually, they'll move the face-off outside. Maybe the Prowlers defense came down to join whatever the grouping was. And timeout being called by Steve Harrison. This has been a heck of a game one. Prowlers got out to a 2-0 lead, and that was the big key for them. Get out to a lead. They fell behind last year in game one here, and the series fell apart for them from there. But this time they get out to the lead. They've held a lead ever since, although Carolina has brought it within one twice. Once on Joe Kennedy's goal near the end of period 2, and then again just a few minutes ago on Gus Ford's power play marker. But the big goal from Daniel Chartrand early on in the third period when the Prowlers dominated the first half of this third period. And Chartrand able to make it a 3-1 game at that point. That's why the Prowlers are still ahead. Looking around the league, Binghamton and Watertown 2-2 through 2 in game one there. Danbury and Motor City, it's 2-1 hat tricks, trying to pick up the home win in game one, their early stages of the third. And they're just getting set to begin the third period in Columbus. Dragons with a 3-0 lead, trying to complete a 2-game series sweep of the Mississippi Sea Wolves. It comes to Pastuca. Cavalieri to the bench. 6-on-5 attack for Carolina. Minute 45 to go in regulation. And it comes all the way through Clay Keeley. Watched by Chartrand. Keplinger to Ford. Gives it back up high. Keplinger. Rister. Blocked. And it comes to the wall. Decumbus softly off the glass. Prowlers trying to work it out, and Johnson does. Keplinger recollects. Prowlers get fresh bodies on the ice. Clay Keeley, the left wing side, drops it for Keplinger. Thunderbirds set up. Pastuca. Rister didn't get all the way through, I don't think. Federley to the empty net. Just missed. An icing call against the Prowlers with 63 seconds up on the clock. Face-off back in Prowler territory to Sokolov's left. Ford, Salak, Pastuca, Kramer, Keplinger, and Panacek. 6 forwards out there for the Carolina Thunderbirds. Kick to the corner. Adam Heinzel Gets it up the wall. Pastuca collects it there. Final minute of play. Pastuca one-timer deflected just wide. Pastuca again to Ford. Wrist shot deflected down. Schumacher clears it away with his glove. Rancourt pokes it out of the zone. Pastuca to Salak. Pass partially impeded by Dalton J. Here comes Salak. Tries to dangle his way in. Has to recollect in the corner. Now Gus Ford gave it away. Prowlers trying to work it out. Schumacher played it off of Pastuca. Back in comes Kramer. Rister kicked out by Sokolov out of the zone. 13 seconds left to go. One last rush for the Thunderbirds. Dumped in by Keplinger. Stopped by Sokolov. Cleared behind the net. 5 seconds to go. Kramer behind the net. Salak hit hard by Adam Heinzel. And that's going to do it. The Port Huron Prowlers take game one. Their first playoff win in 6 years. And Adam Heinzel, who was the 7th defenseman tonight, he played very limited minutes all night long, but he makes the final play there, putting a big hit on Jan Salak. And the Prowlers take game one. And how do you spell relief for the Port Huron Prowlers? 3rd year in a row, 4th playoff appearance in a row, taking on the Carolina Thunderbirds. Carolina came into their building, came into McMorran Place, and won game one each of the previous 3 meetings. But this time, it is the Port Huron Prowlers who win game number 1, and they'll head down to Winston-Salem with a chance to end the series in game 2. That will be tomorrow night, and we'll have it for you here on the PHP Network. Puck drop scheduled for 7:30 p.m. and the pregame show at 7:15. And we will pause in just a moment for the 3 stars of the night announcement. Final shots, Prowlers 31, Thunderbirds 27, and we'll pause now. So the goal scorers go 1, 2, 3. Of the 3 stars, as Dominic Loubert, who scored the opening goal, announced as the 3rd star. Connor Foley announced as the 2nd star. And Daniel Chartrand, the 1st star of the game. And it's been a long time coming for the Prowlers, but the work isn't done for them. But they hold serve on home ice, and now they'll have 2 chances to win the series down in Winston-Salem at the Fairgrounds Arena. And once again, we will have that for you here on the PHP Network. I need to keep the post-game show brief because I have a bus to catch. So we'll leave it right here for you. Your final score in game 1, the Prowlers 3, Thunderbirds 2, Port Huron with a 1-0 series lead. We'll see you tomorrow night, and we'll see if the Prowlers can finish things off. For Kim running the camera, I'm Will Wiggleman. See you next time right here on the PHP Network.